This is Peter with Floor 4 Music, and today I have decided I am totally done with Maschine Studio. Initially got this about a year ago, the Maschine Studio hardware. It was the first time that I worked in sort of a groovebox kind of environment. I realized that it's really just a slave to the Maschine Studio software, but the general workflow, working in more of a loop-oriented manner, and the immediacy of the creative process was really a breath of fresh air for me. And considering I was getting more into some electronic elements in my music, soft synths and hard synths, it was something that seemed like, a reasonable avenue for my creative endeavors musically. As I started to acquire more hardware synthesizers, for example the 2600 and the Neutron, I was still relying on the Maschine Studio as sort of the brains of the creative operation, in that I want the Maschine Studio to efficiently sequence that hardware and do so without any problems. For whatever reason, it has been nothing but problems, and this particular video was sparked by the fact that I had just before it spent about 45 minutes to an hour setting up the camera, setting up the microphone, getting everything together, and starting to record sort of a live creative process to give you guys some insight as to my general workflow with Maschine. But of course, midway through that process, I had the same issues that essentially completely prevent the songwriting and song creation process right in the middle, and wasted about an hour of my time. Which is what brings me to the fact that I am completely done now with Maschine. I'm totally done with it. I've already purchased an MPC One. I am patiently waiting for that to arrive. Obviously, I didn't go to the Maschine Plus side of things simply because of cost. I got the MPC One for more than half the cost of what the Maschine Plus would have been, which is the standalone from Native Instruments. For some reason, when I utilize Maschine Studio, I am constantly getting MIDI notes that hang, MIDI communication issues where essentially a sequence is being played on a loop. I'm trying to come up with more song ideas, and then for absolutely no reason whatsoever, it will just hang the note and the synthesizer will stop receiving the MIDI signal appropriately and just send one droned signal, one droned note that can't be turned off. Even if I press stop on the device, all the other music will stop, but that note will just continue to drone because the synth, for whatever reason, is just hung up on whatever communication was last received from Maschine. I have to then physically switch off the hardware synth and switch it back on, and still that doesn't work. And this has absolutely crushed several of my creative projects and creative endeavors. And those of you out there that make music, you know that once you have a creative flow going, the last thing you want are things that are just going to sort of put a stop to it all. And when you're dealing with software, of course, when you start getting hang-ups and communication issues, then that's going to kill the creative process immediately. It's actually made it so I will just completely quit working on a song, maybe never revisit it, and never finish it, and I'm just pretty much through with it. I realize that this is old hardware. I realize that it may not be representative of what the Maschine Plus experience is like for individuals, but it's still a product that they have out. It's still something that you can purchase and use. There's still some support with it with the software, so it should still work. And it's not a computer issue on my end. My computer is certainly overpowered for what I'm trying to accomplish. And as I've said, I don't have these issues with Ableton. But it's really, really, really frustrating because these devices, whatever they are, whether it's software, whether it's hardware, whether it's standalone, whether it's a slave to the software, a controller, whatever it may be, they should be there to help facilitate the creative process. They shouldn't be there to be something that you have to fight with. And that's definitely what this has become for me. So with that being said, I will be moving on to the Akai MPC workflow as soon as I receive that device and start to get my bearings straight with all of that. From here on out, all of my musical endeavors will be with that. And I'm also thinking that, you know, this is another reason why I would like to kind of move away from the computer during at least the initial creative process, because I want a situation where I can just turn on whatever devices I have, my sequencer or my hardware controller, my synthesizers, plug in my guitar if I would like to, and so on and so forth, and just get going and not have so many frustrating hiccups along the way. So, you know, if you guys have any suggestions, or if you guys have any experiences yourself with frustration with the creative process, either working with Native Instruments Maschine or anything else, let me know in the comments. I'm still going to try to make some additional videos until I get the MPC One, but once I do receive that, just, you know, expect from here on out much of my content to focus primarily on more of standalone song creation, and more so the Akai workflow. See you guys.